Lukash, with all this filming we're doing, I'm missing all these great sessions at MTE. Rose is presenting right now in the foundations track, but I can't just walk in the middle of it. How am I ever going to learn anything?
Zach, I can help you with education.
Angelica, you can. We're back with another episode of What's Up Mainframe from live in Texas as part of the Mainframe Technical Exchange. I'm excited because we have someone that I've worked with for a long time, and someone that haven't seen in person since 2019. So it's quite a joy to be able to see and introduce Angelica Giraldo, who is a manager of education here at Broadcom. And so one of the things that we talk about a lot these days among our offerings is beyond code. So what are we doing besides all of the applications that we make available to our customers? And education very much falls into those offerings. So can you tell us generally about what Broadcom offers in terms of education to customers?
Definitely, and by the way, it's great to see you after almost 6 years.
Yeah.
So yes, as part of our Beyond Code offerings, we have our education, which is available to our customers at no cost for those customers that are active on maintenance. We have training in 2 different modalities, the web-based training courses as well as instructor-led training courses. And the products that we offer virtual instructor-led training courses range from Endeavor, ACF2, Top Secret, CA7, ESP workload automation. Ethical Mainframe Hacking is one of the latest courses that we just released. They're all virtual. Registration is available via our Broadcom site. And I'm happy to share details on how that process goes via the demo that we will do.
Yes, certainly. No, so that's excellent. So we have the instructor-led trainings and then the specific product-related courses. Correct. And so talk a little bit about how those are actually developed, because I think people would be interested to understand what goes into those.
Yes. So when what we do is the instructor-led training courses were repurposed into the web-based training modality. So what that really means is that if a customer is not able to dedicate, let's say, 5 days to an IoT instructor-led training course, they can consume the web-based training courses. We work very closely with our subject matter experts on developing the content. So it's great stuff. We're often looking for customer feedback as well. Before we release a course, we want our customers to provide us with that level of feedback too.
Definitely. And when we work in the product teams on a new release, we are trying to keep your people really apprised of where we are so that we can get a course out near to the time of the actual release of the product. It doesn't always work that way.
No, but we do our best.
But we do our best.
Yes,
exactly. Yes. Now, one thing about education, and I mean, you sort of hit on it, that it often comes down to a matter of time. So the instructor-led courses are great because you have a teacher on screen, an expert who's leading you through things, but it's a lot of time. And not everybody has 5 days in their organization to dedicate to that. So that's why the web-based trainings are so great, because they're kind of smaller chunks.
Correct.
More digestible. They want simpler and simpler. They want shorter formats. They really want to get to the heart of issues.
Yeah.
And is that kind of the feedback you've also received?
Yes, that's definitely the feedback we've received, and we're actually in that direction ourselves. Okay. So ideally what we want to do is develop the content ideally based on a specific task. Okay. So the end result may look like a 5-minute web-based training course or video, or up to 15 minutes. So now we're breaking that content down even further. Another thing that I failed to mention was the fact that we have digital badges for a lot of our courses, whether that's at the instructor level or at the web-based training level. So digital badges are out there.
Yeah, and the great thing about the digital badges as well is that, and this is also I think a more recent thing, is that while we're focusing on smaller tasks and really getting to the heart of a specific part of a workflow, we're also focusing more on roles. Sure. And so those badges often correlate not just to a task, but a task for a specific role.
Correct.
Yeah, and so this is where the interplay between the development teams, the education team, and even UX, I think,
yes.
Right? It's really a lot of synchronicity between them in putting these together.
Exactly.
Now, we're talking about mainframe education. And with all of the people that come on What's Up Mainframe, we want to get a sense of their background. So how did you get into mainframe education?
Wow, I started my career at CA, now Broadcom.
Okay.
26 years ago.
I don't believe you.
I was actually initially in education. I started in sales enablement.
Okay.
But prior to being in education, I was a customer advocate.
Okay.
Moved on to education, sales enablement, and that led me to our technical, so the product training that we have today on the technical side. Customer feedback, as you mentioned, is key. I love working with our customers. As you mentioned, being here at MTE, I've gotten great feedback from customers on things that are going well, areas where they've provided some feedback that, hey, we should consider X, or Angelica, what if I wanted a class? I have 10 people that need to go through, and this is an example, ESP training. Mm-hmm. How do I schedule that at no cost? And the key is reaching out to me or your MBS or customer success manager, having the couple of tentative dates where we can run the class. Mm-hmm. And that gives me the ability to work with our resource managers to determine what instructors may be available. And then we can offer the class as a private delivery, because all of the IoTs that I am offering today are public deliveries.
Okay.
But we have the flexibility of doing them private as well.
Specifically for a company.
Specifically for a company, and in some instances, sometimes 2 or 3 companies. I have one of those coming up.
Oh,
so
nice.
That's also
so they can overlap a little bit.
Yes, definitely. I think customers learn from one another. What they're doing in one side, they may not be doing it on another side, so different considerations play.
Definitely. So it's interesting to hear kind of your career arc.
Yes.
Because you started with understanding customer needs.
Correct.
And then you got a little bit into more general training for enablement.
Yes.
And then you moved to the technical side. So your experience really speaks to what we try to achieve in education.
Exactly. Yeah. What are the needs? And I'll even add, if our content is not covering your existing needs, reach out to us, make us aware of that. We want to improve the training. We want to work with you to make sure that we're delivering on content that's applicable to our customers.
Definitely. Now, one thing that I think I mentioned to you 6 years ago, and I kind of wanted to bring up, is your accent, because we were very often on calls and not always had the video on, and so I was trying to place your accent. So how would you describe it? Why do you have the accent that you do?
So I think I may have a little bit of a Long Island, New York accent, but I'm also South American. I was born in Colombia, in Bogota, the capital, and raised in New York, in Long Island. So I think it's a little bit of both of what you're hearing.
Definitely, yeah, it is. Yeah,
however, my Colombian family would say that I have my accent is more American when I speak to them. So it's playing 2 different roles.
Oh, that's awesome. No, it's one of those things. We have quite a few characters who have really interesting backgrounds like that. And when you're on a call, it's like, I know exactly who's speaking.
Yeah, there's no denying it.
No, there's no denying it, exactly. Well, Angelica, great to have you. And I think after this, we can kind of take a look at the offerings and a little bit of a demo, kind of how to access them.
Definitely. Yeah, let's work on that next.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The purpose of this video is to show you how to register for a virtual instructor-led training course. Go to support.broadcom.com, log in on the top right with your credentials or register as a new user. Once logged in, scroll down and locate the Learning at Broadcom card on the bottom right of the screen. You are able to search for a course either by title or course code. I'm going to do a search by course code. Quick introduction to Python for Rex programmers. And I want to see all of the available future sessions scheduled by scrolling down on the bottom left. Choose a session. Be very careful when selecting a session that you pick the correct time zone for this class. As you can see, our November session is scheduled for our European customers, whereas our November 11th session is available to our North American customers. By selecting the November 11th session, I'm going to click on Request. and this tells me I am already registered for the class. Within the next 12 to 24 hours, you should receive an email confirmation of your registration status. Please make sure you read the course description and that you meet all of the required prerequisites.